What is going on, everybody? I am Rob Westerman, the third of GBP Daily, and thank you for tuning in to the Rob Westerman Show. You can find me all over social media at GBP Daily, and if you are not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would greatly appreciate that. It is Tuesday, January 7th, and we are full on into Packers-Eagles playoff week. Sunday, 3:30 kickoff out in Philadelphia. Nothing better than some playoff football. And although we ended the season on a poor note, the slate is wiped clean. Every team is 0-0. Some injury updates. Christian Watson, as I'm sure everybody is aware of by now, he is done for the year and could possibly be in jeopardy of missing most of next season as well. Went down with a torn ACL against the Bears. An absolutely brutal injury. We all know his talents in the passing game, but he's been one of, if not our best blocking receiver in the run game this year as well. And not having him out there is going to hurt on a lot of different levels. Next year is a contract year for him. After that, the Packers are going to have to make a decision on whether they want to keep Christian or let him walk. However, if he isn't ready to play next season and spends the entire year on the PUP list, his contract year would then be in 2026. So that'll be something to monitor throughout the season next year. But back to Packers, Eagles. Let's dive into the comment section here, see what's going on. And as always, the Nicolet Law hotline is now live. If you want to be a part of the show, you got a Packers question, you got a Packers comment, give me a call. I would love to hear from you. Number is on the screen, 319-242-2332. You got a Packers comment, you got a Packers question, you got a Packers complaint, which I'm sure I've seen quite a few of those recently. Give me a call. Would love to hear from you. Bailey, do you think Green Bay gets a big name wide receiver this offseason? And Rory, should we pursue Tyreek Hill? I don't think we should pursue Tyreek Hill. I think he's kind of aging up there a little bit. Would someone like T. Higgins be appealing? Absolutely. However, I don't think the Bengals let him out the door. What about Devontae? Should we bring back Devontae Adams? I was talking with my buddy earlier this morning, saying he's one guy I would never complain about bringing back in, just because I love Devontae. So, but yeah, I would imagine we learned our lesson this year, right, with going out in free agency and it working. So hopefully we'll be active again this offseason. The Super Bowl windows, you never know when they're going to close. Pretty much until it's already closed. So they're always short. With Aaron Rodgers, we were spoiled. It was, a 10, 15 year long. Every year we thought we had a chance. I don't think we can draft a receiver in the first round and expect him to be that guy right away, or kind of bet on that. I do think the smart thing would be to get a big-time receiver and have him come in right away. Because, in the offseason, we were talking about best wide receiver room in the league, one of the better wide receiver cores, and frankly, that has not been the case this year. Christian Watson missed a few games. Romeo Doubs missed a few games. Jaden Reed has had a couple down weeks this last month or so. Dontavian Wicks has had the same amount of receptions this year as he did last year, but 166 fewer yards. So, really, our receiver room did not perform the way we were thinking before the season started. So, definitely need to get a wide receiver, get a corner, and those are probably the top two on the priority list as we head into the offseason. Thank you, Bailey, for hopping in. Appreciate you, Rory. Jair updates. Jair is on IR. No real updates He'll miss the next 4 games. He'll be eligible to come back if we make the Super Bowl, if he's even ready by then. I would imagine that he won't be, considering he went down, considering he's having surgery on his knee. So, yeah, he's done for the year for the most part. He's done for the year. There's a slight chance that he could come back, but yeah, I would not expect to see him back, even if we did make the Super Bowl. I don't really know if we should expect to see him back next year in general. I would love to see him get healthy and come back, because when he is healthy, he's one of the better corners in the league. But that's an offseason monitoring situation, right? But yeah, as of right now, Jair is on IR, and we will not see him again this season. So thank you, Rory. Appreciate you hopping in. Hope you have yourself a great Tuesday. My man Nate's in the house. Do we finally see Quay and Coop together this Sunday? Need a huge game from that front 7 against Saquon. I hope so. Man, Quay and Edgerrin back there together, I think makes up one of the better linebacker rooms in the league. Need a big game from that front 7, absolutely, against Saquon. They did a pretty good job against him in week 1, although he did score 3 touchdowns. 1 was through the air. As far as rushing goes, I think he only averaged like 3-4 yards a carry compared to his 6 yards per carry for this season. So they bottled him up decently week 1. But yeah, we're going to need a big time game from our front 7 taking care of Saquon. It's a tall task. He's over 2,000 yards for the year. He was in MVP conversations. One of the best players in the league, no doubt. So definitely the number one thing the Packers defense needs to do is slow him down. I don't think you can necessarily take him completely out of the game. He's just too good. But slowing him down would be the right step, right direction for Sunday. Thank you, Nate. Have yourself a great Tuesday, my man. Jared, are you concerned about Jordan Love's elbow at all? I'll have to wait and see, really, and see how practice goes this week to see if he's limited, to see kind of what capacity does he actually practice before I give an answer to that. But Coach did say after the game that if they needed him to go back in, then he would have, but they opted to keep him out. But Jordan also did say to combat that he had some numbness in his arm and was still dealing with it throughout the game. Best case scenario is that it was just a pretty bad funny bone hit. But as you pointed out, something to definitely monitor, and it is the main thing to monitor this week as we head into Sunday. Thank you, Jared. Have yourself a great Tuesday, my man. Daryl, good morning, my man. Thank you for tuning in over on YouTube. Hope you're having a good start to your week. Packers playoff week. I feel like the vibes aren't necessarily playoff week vibes, at least on the Packers social sphere. A lot of negatives to take away from Sunday, but I have decided to kind of flush those because ultimately it didn't end up mattering. So playoff week, we got to get hyped a little bit. Tristan coming in right on cue. Playoff week, baby. 3 upsets and a beatdown over the Chiefs for a Super Bowl victory. Tristan, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Love me some positivity. Shout out to you. Yeah, the Packers earned themselves quite the gauntlet for the postseason. Eagles. Then when we beat the Eagles, we'll go to Detroit and play the Lions. And then whoever the highest remaining seed is left between the Commanders, the Vikings, the Buccaneers, and the Rams will be the matchup for the NFC Championship. It'll be quite the run. But let's start off with a win over the Eagles and go from there, shall we? Riley, what is your opinion on Matt LaFleur? I've seen a lot of discourse over him the last couple days. Riley, I don't have an opinion really other than he's a dang good coach. He has owned up to everything that has gone wrong this season, whether it's his fault or Jeff Hafley's or anybody else's. And things are going to go wrong for every single team during every single season. The buck stops with him, and he's owned that time and time again. It was a tough go at it for him at the end of the Bears game, and he handled that wrong. which he also owned up to, but I know he'll learn from that, and hopefully he'll have us ready to go this weekend. I think he will. So Riley, don't read into the tea leaves too much. We got ourselves a dang good head coach, and I'm glad to have him. Appreciate you hopping in. Let's get the fact of the day rolling, shall we? It is a good one.
It's time for your Green Bay Packers Fact of the Day. Brought to you by TickPick. TickPick guarantees to have the lowest prices on Packers tickets. If you find cheaper tickets elsewhere, TickPick will give you 110% of your money back. If you want $20 off your next ticket order, use code Packers20 at checkout. That's Packers20. This promo code can only be used in the app, so make sure to download the TickPick app today.
All right, your fact of the day. Edgerrin Cooper finished the regular season with 13 tackles for loss, which ranked second among off-ball linebackers in 2024. The crazy thing is that Edgerrin Cooper only played in 14 games and overall just 491 snaps. We are witnessing a star in the making here in Edgerrin Cooper. Shout out to Mr. Cooper for balling out this year and hopefully beyond. And shout out to TickPick. I partnered with them. Super thankful for that. I used them back in October for the Packers-Cardinals game. I used them on Thanksgiving night when we went to the Dolphins game. And if we somehow play in Minnesota for what would possibly be the NFC Championship, I will definitely be using TickPick as well for that game. They put their money where their mouth is. They guarantee the cheapest Packers tickets on the market. And if you find cheaper tickets elsewhere, they will give you 110% of your money back. Download the TickPick app. Use the code Packers20 for $20 off your order. My man Daryl in the chat. How you doing, Rob? Having a cup of coffee right here. Here for the live chat, my man. I'm doing pretty good myself. I've got a little coffee myself from this morning. I'm doing great. It's playoff week. Love me some playoff football. I'm friends. I am brothers with a Dolphins fan. My brother-in-law is a big Dolphins fan, and they unfortunately did not make the playoffs this year. And during his lifetime, they have won one playoff game, and that was back in like 2004. Been a long, long time for him to witness a playoff win. And I think the playoff drought of not making it ended last year, and it was, a few years long for them as well. So do not ever take, I'm not talking to you, Daryl, just in general, can't take these Packers playoff games for granted. Just think how many playoff games that we'll have, at least in my situation, how many playoff games are going to be played by the Packers in my lifetime? Say an average of one a year, we'll say, in years that they don't make it, combined with years that they maybe go on a little run. I'm 30. Say I live to be 70. That's 40 games. Maybe less, maybe more. Probably less. Cannot take these for granted. I'm pumped. I feel actually pretty good about this game this weekend. I don't mind playing the Eagles. They're not some juggernaut team. I went back and looked through their schedule. Their schedule was weak. I mean, beyond weak. And the teams that they lost to were a couple playoff teams. The teams they beat, I think they only beat like two playoff teams this entire year. So I actually feel pretty dang good about our chances this weekend. So does Vegas. I think they're a 3.5 or 4.5 point underdog. I mean, come on. Jalen Hurts has played, 4 snaps? He's thrown 4 passes in the last month. They rested their starters this past weekend. They're going to be rusty. And hopefully we come out firing and take control. I would love to get off to a fast start, have a stress-free game, right? That would be great. But that's not going to happen. It's going to be a nail-biter. And hopefully we come out on top. Appreciate you hopping in, Daryl. Enjoy your coffee. Have yourself a great Tuesday. Lauren, You would have thought the Packers lost the Super Bowl on Sunday, but it was meaningless, and we've got a playoff game to focus on. Yeah, Lauren, some people just like to be miserable, right? And that's just how some people choose to fan, and I won't tell them how to act as a fan, certainly. But I definitely will not go an entire season complaining about things, especially when we've got another game to focus on this weekend. I will admit, I do get pretty frustrated in the moment during games, but I keep a pretty level head for the most part. This past game, I honestly wasn't even too bothered by. It would have been nice to win, for sure. But ultimately, like you said, that would have changed nothing for this weekend's game since the Cowboys choked it away in the final seconds of their game. Now, if the Cowboys would have upset the Commanders and we would have lost, yeah, that was an opportunity lost with having a chance to move up to the 6th seed. But win or lose against the Bears, we were going to be the 7th seed and heading to Philly. So no harm, no foul, right? Outside of the injuries, of course, which we went over earlier. So, all right, guys, that is going to do it for me today as far as the show goes. But as you know, the content never stops. I'm always posting anything Packers related all day long. So be sure to follow me at GBP Daily on every social platform. And if you are not already, it would mean a ton if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my man Daryl. I would greatly appreciate that. I will be back and at it tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you all then. And until then, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you.